Okay, good morning. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard, and I'm officially calling the state of Georgia versus Joey Calhoun. There are two charges, warrant number 2022 CW 550004 for the charge of aggravated stalking. And then the second charge, warrant number 2022 CW 55005 for a charge of terroristic threat. The state of Georgia is represented by ADA Travis McDowell, and the defendant, Mr. Joey Calhoun, will be represented by attorney Tiffany Pleasant. At this time, the state ADA McDowell, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please do so.
Your Honor, at this time, the state calls Derek Doyle. Will you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Will you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Derek Doyle.
And where are you employed?
At Clayton County Sheriff Office.
How long have you been there?
I've been there 2.5 years.
Will you describe for the court your current duties?
I was a jail commander.
And what sort of things do you do as a jail commander?
Pretty much my job is the safety and security of the inmates.
Do you have an opportunity to monitor jail calls at some point?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Were you on duty on November 1st of 2022?
I was.
And the location where you work, is that 9157 Terra Boulevard?
Yes, sir, it is.
What county is that located in?
In Clayton County.
What kind of structure is at that location?
It's a jail.
Got it. Now, did you have an opportunity to review jail calls from this defendant?
Yes, sir, I did.
And his name being Joey Calhoun?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any calls of that stood out to you?
Actually, it was brought to my attention from the victim.
What did the victim state?
The victim called and she was afraid, she was in fear of being harmed if Calhoun got out of jail. Ben said that she was being threatened, and she said, hey, if you listen to the jail phone calls, you can hear it.
What's the name of the victim?
The victim name is Allison Fletcher.
And was she involved in a bond order with the defendant at all?
Yes, sir, she was.
Those conditions state that he is to have no contact with her, Allison Fletcher?
That is correct.
And did you listen to the phone call that was made from Mr. Calhoun to Ms. Fletcher?
I did, sir.
And what did he state?
He stated, verbatim, I'm going to go to the warrant real quick. He called her, it was a conversation. He called her over 20 times on that date. Phone calls lasting at least 30 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 1 minute, up to this conversation. 1 second, sir.
Sure.
So listen to the jail phone calls. He contacted.
I'm going to have to object. I don't. Obviously, Commander Doyle can refresh his recollection by reviewing his warrant and his notes, but I'd ask that he not read from them. Just testify after he refreshes his recollection. Okay, sustain.
Okay. So he just pretty much told her that he was going to kill her, and that he promised that he was going to kill her. That was the statement that he made via the phone call, the recorded phone call.
Okay, so he stated that he was going to kill her.
Yes.
Now, did he call from his account?
No, he did not.
No. How did he call?
He called from someone else's account with their PIN number.
And did the victim tell you that she recognized his voice, that it was in fact Mr. Calhoun?
Yes, and I also recognize his voice from his actual phone calls that I listened to someone else compared to the phone call with Ms. Fletcher.
Is it at all common for inmates to use each other's name and PIN when making phone calls?
That is not common
Objection
at all.
Irrelevance. Overrule.
That is not common. However, they communicate to do these type of behaviors. That's why they use someone else's PIN number, so that they think we're not going to catch it being recorded up under their number.
Understood. Judge, I don't have any further questions at this time.
Okay, Attorney Pleasant, you're witness.
Thank you. Commander Doyle, explain to me exactly how the phone system is set up at the Clayton County Jail.
You pick up the phone, you put an LE number in, you put a PIN number in, and you dial a number who you want to talk to.
So the LE and PIN are specific to an individual, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And you testified that you received a phone call from Allison Fletcher, who's the alleged victim in this case, correct?
That is correct.
Precisely what did she say?
She called and she stated that she was in fear, that she received the phone call. He's saying he's gonna kill her, and she directed me to listen to the jail phone calls. If you listen to the jail phone call, sir, you can hear it. You can hear it. Was a statement that she made.
That was her statement to you. Listen, you can hear it. And did she indicate on when this occurred?
Yes, she actually gave me the exact date of the phone call, which was November 1st. And I went and listened to the phone call. Excuse me, not November 1st. I have to reflect back to my report on the exact date on when he actually called.
Please do.
I will have to, so yes, it was November 1st. Yes, it was November 1st.
And you testified on direct that you compared the phone calls from November 1st to the call to other calls. When did that occur?
That happened on November 10th, the day that I obtained the warrants.
And how many calls did you compare?
All of his jail phone calls to an unknown source. I mean, to another female source.
And do you recall the number? How many?
I do not have the exact number at this time. But they
More
all
than
was
two?
under his account. Yes, more than two.
And how did Allison Fletcher identify my client?
As the person who assaulted her in the previous case that we all at the sheriff's office is made aware of.
When we say the sheriff's office is made aware of, what are you referencing?
The previous case, that is why he's here. I mean, because we, the sheriff's office, had to go and get him.
And do you recall the length of the phone call that you listened to on the first?
I don't want to give out a time right now because I don't have it on top of my head, but I don't remember the time on how long the phone call.
And did you speak to Mr. Calhoun regarding these allegations?
I did not speak to Mr. Calhoun.
Did anyone at the jail speak to Mr. Calhoun with regards to these allegations?
I only spoke to him after charging him, ma'am.
And what was your conversation after charging him?
I don't have any more conversations with Mrs. Fletcher. And if you have any more conversation with Mrs. Fletcher, you will be charged.
Did he provide a response?
He nodded his head, shook his head, no verbal.
Okay. And did you speak to the person whose information he allegedly used?
No, I did not.
Do you know who that person is?
I do know who that person is, but I don't have it I don't have it on hand at this moment.
Did you include it in your case notes?
Oh, I did.
Is it in your report, the name and
It
information?
Yes, ma'am.
And the recording, has that been preserved?
It's going to be preserved. It's in the system. It's not going anywhere. But yes, ma'am, it has.
So the system does not delete, it's going to be retained.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you. That's all I have at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, A.D. McDowell, any redirect?
No redirect, Judge.
Okay, and any other witnesses?
No, Judge, state rests.
Okay, Attorney Pleasant, any witnesses?
No witnesses, defense rests.
Okay, we're ready for closing. ADA McDowell,
State reserves.
okay, Attorney Pleasant,
Defense submits.
okay.
The state will submit as well, Your Honor.
Okay, great. So based on the evidence presented to the court today, I do find sufficient probable cause to bind over the 2 charges against Mr. Calhoun to the Superior Court of Clayton County. That is the order of the court today. That will conclude your preliminary hearing, Mr. Calhoun. I would like to thank Attorney Pleasant for her presentation of the case, as well as ADA McDowell. Thank you.